some beef ribs, about half kilo, and some brisket, which is again half kilo. And what I'm going to do with this is just pop a couple of onions that I chopped earlier. They're just large chunks of onions, as you can see, into here, because I like onions with my beef. I'm sorry. If you don't like onions, leave them out. Or you could, if you wanted the flavour but not the onion, add onion salt here. To your liking, let your heart decide. That's the thing about all of these things. Let your heart decide. Okay, so pop all that in. Looks like a lot, but this is going to be cooking for a long time, so we need them to be fairly stable. Okay, on top of that, I'm going to put 150 mils of water. That's just to help it along a bit, to give us some fluid in the bottom, when you see why in a moment. Salt and pepper. Now, it may sound like a lot, but it's gonna be in there, as I said, a while. So we'll put that in. And some salt. Go easy on the salt at this stage, you can add later. Go. And the reason I said go easy on the salt is because we're going to be adding a sauce at this point. Now, I'm going to be using this one, which was in my store cupboard, Sweet Baby Ray's. I think I got it from Aldi. It's been there a while, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. It smells nice, I've got to say. So all I'm going to do with this is pop the whole lot in here, because this, as I said, is going to be going for a while. And we need the flavour from the sauce to do this. Ooh, excuse the funny noises. Let's give it a bang to get it to the bottom. There we go. As much as we can get out. Stick your lid on. Oops, not your microwave, which is what I've just pinged. Oops. And we're going to put it on to cook on low for 10 hours. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to check it occasionally just to make sure the water's not dried up in the bottom, which I don't think it will, but you never know the minute. And come back later. This has been in for 6 hours now. I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir and see what's going on with it. Don't know if you can see. I'll put the light on. That may help. I'll stand this way. So let's just see. So no, that's not ready to do yet. All I'm looking for here is to see whether the meat is able to separate, and at the moment it isn't, so it needs a wee while longer. So we'll just turn that over, give it a chance on the other side. As with the ribs, we'll do that as well. We know it's ready when it falls to pieces, so there we go. Let's pop that in there. Okay, come back in a few hours. So there's about an hour left to go, and I have shredded the beef, as you can see from here. All I'm going to do now is add some peppers. They don't take long to cook, so I'm going to put them in now. So I've chopped up 2 Romano peppers and just sliced them, and I'll pop them in there to soften up for the next hour or so, and we'll come back when it's done. Lid on. There we go. So this is the end of our cooking time, and as you can see, it's very, very hot. So I'm going to spoon some out. It's nice and thick as well, which is what we like. And I'm going to spoon some out onto a plate for my father. And we're serving this, I don't know if you can see, I'll put that down for a sec, with potatoes, a bread roll and some coleslaw. Ideally you would put the beef inside the bun, but my father doesn't like it that way, so he's having it this way. There we go. So, bon appetit. So I'm going to be making a salmon tray bake. So I've chopped up some red potatoes into big chunks, as you can see. I've covered them in oil, a little bit of lemon juice and some rosemary, and ooh, there's a pip, as you can see. There we go. Some salt, pepper and a little bit of onion seasoning, and that's going in the oven on its hottest setting
for half an hour, along with my vegetables, which I've got broccoli and carrots, and I've done the same with these. I've covered them in a bit of oil. I have put rosemary, a little bit of thyme as well on this, a little bit of onion, salt and a bit of lemon juice, and I'm going to cover these up with a bit of tin foil so that they steam in the oven rather than roast. And then near the end of cooking, I'll take the tin foil off and let them roast slightly. I want them cooked first before I do that, just for my own taste basically. And with all that, I'm going to be having some salmon, which is here. And what I've done to my salmon is I have put it in a tray with a little bit of water, as you can see, some salt, pepper, a bit of parsley on top and some lemon zest, and we're going to roast that covered again. There we go, in the oven with the potatoes and the broccoli, and we'll see what it looks like when I'm finished. And this is the finished product. There you go. Lovely salmon, potatoes, broccoli and carrots, all lovely cooked. Only took half an hour in the oven. There you go. Enjoy. Okay, so this recipe is my fruity chicken recipe, and it starts with your slow cooker. And what we're going to add to that is 3 chicken breasts. So I'm going to leave them whole so they don't dry out. I'm going to pop those on there, so. And what we'll do is we'll cut them up at the end. So that's my 3 chicken breasts. To that, I'm going to add 1 large onion chopped. Now it's just chopped in, well, basically it's sliced rather than chopped. So we'll just pop that in. This is a lovely recipe for kids if you struggle to get your kids to eat anything healthy. It's very low fat and it's tasty, which is the main thing. And because it's slightly sweet, we managed to get them to eat it. So on top of that, I'm going to add 2 carrots that have been chunked. The reason why they're quite big is because this is going to be cooking for about 4 hours on high. 3 to 4 hours on high, just until it's cooked. So I'll pop that in. On top of that, I'm going to add some mushrooms. Now I've just halved these button mushrooms. I'm going to put those in. It's up to you how many mushrooms you put in. It doesn't have to be an exact science on this one. That's the thing with savoury cooking, it doesn't have to be an exact science. Okay, and then on top of that, I'm going to add 2 apples, 2 eating apples that have been chunked, skin on and just the core removed. So I'm going to pop that in. And these are jazz apples, in case you're wondering. I've used Granny Smith's before, I've used normal Gala, just whatever. On top of this, I'm going to add a stock cube with 150 mils of water in it. So my stock cube's been dissolved in boiling water. There's 150 mils in there, and I'm just gonna pop that into there, so. And to that, I'm going to add some garlic. You can use fresh garlic if that's what you want to do, but I haven't got any, so I'm using this lazy garlic. And we need, what, about a teaspoon of it, and just spread it about a bit. Okay, it's up to you if you want to do more. If you like it fairly garlicky, go for it. And to that, I'm going to add a sprinkling of sage. So it's going to be roughly about 2 teaspoons, but let your heart decide, eh? Pop that in. To that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of dried parsley. Pop that in. And the last thing, I'm going to add some apple juice. And we're looking at about 1/4 of a pint. So that's again 150 mils. And this is just normal everyday apple juice. If you don't have any apple juice, you can use cider. if you wish, that would do. Wine even, if you want to do that. Okay, and pop that in. And the last thing to add is salt and pepper. So I'm going to generous grind of pepper, and not as much salt because we've got the stock, remember. There we go. And I'm going to put that on my slow cooker to cook for 4 hours on high. I'm just going to give it a little stir so all the flavours can get in there. That's it. And you need to keep your eye on it, just to make sure it doesn't dry out. I don't think it will, but just in case. And we'll come back at the end to see what to do at the end.
So for the last part of this recipe, I did a cornflour slurry mixed with some water, popped it into my stew, left it for 15 minutes to thicken, chopped my chicken up, put it back in to keep it moist, and then boiled some potatoes, which I served mashed with a little bit of chive and some butter in. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Liz out!